I'm here with the lovely Marilyn Gewacke. She's coming from the psychological background, but she's so much transformed as a channel to Zazar. So let's talk about your first contact. What was the first moment you were aware there were ETs here?
It would have to be when I was little. I was taken on ships by my biological father, and the ships were all children teaching ships. And there were many, many human children on the ship, some ET children. I remember distinctively being placed in front of monitors, and we learned through our consciousness to make sound music and art, and there was a gymnasium where we learned to be out of body doing acrobatics. It was immensely wonderful. Went there several times to learn about expanded consciousness. I didn't know this as a child. It was just wonderful. But I remember being in line, ready to go back to Earth, but I was physically on the ship, thinking to myself, oh no, now my consciousness has to shrink to an acorn size. And then I'd go back to Earth and have no memory. And so later in my life, I began to remember these experiences. And then when Zazar came out 8.5 years ago, I realized that I was getting prepared to channel this amazing, amazing being. That was one reason I was on the ship. But what is so cool, Alan, is all these kids that were on the ship, these human kids, they're gonna wake up to these experiences they had on the ship. They're going to be more expanded in their consciousness, and they're gonna bring all that awareness to Earth, and it's happening right now.
What triggered that memory? So
I was in a hypnotic regression, and part of the memory came, and after that, during the day, I would just start having clear memories. I knew what I had on. I had my little saddle shoes, my little favorite blue dress, and I just started remembering, and then I started experiencing the things that happened on the ship as a vibrational experience. So,
how old were you? Like how many years?
Between 3 and 7.
That you start to remember?
Between 3 and 7 is when I was having the ship experiences, but I started to remember maybe 15 years ago.
Did that freak you out when you started to remember?
No, it made sense. Everything made sense. I mean, at first, but I understood it, and it helped that my father took me on the ship. My father always told me about the presence of ETs, the truth of them, the truth of the cosmos. And my father during the day was this district attorney, very, very left brain. But to me, he was this amazing man who taught me all about the cosmos. So it wasn't surprising to me that these memories would start coming. And then about 2009, I had another contact experience in the dentist office, of all places. And I was reading a protocol on ET contact in the dentist chair as I was numbing, about ready to have an awakening. And this music came across the loudspeaker system in the dentist office. It sounded like star music, like spaceship music. And the tech, I said to the tech, you guys, your music rocks. And she said, that's not our music. And she goes, I don't know why I'm saying this. Now remember, this is 2009. That was the day of the flip phone. There were not pictures sent. There were not music sent. No music could be sent back then. She said, look at your phone. I flipped it open, Alan. There on the phone was a picture of a spaceship with hieroglyphics I don't recognize coming down in 2 columns. And the music was being projected from my phone to the entire loudspeaker system in the office. Remember, I'm reading a book on making contact. So I go home and I tell Diane, I had this amazing experience in the dentist office, and she's like, okay. But it happened another time that happened to be on her birthday.
Well, it's impossible for that to actually happen, but it did.
Well, here's the thing. It happened on her birthday. Listen to this. Same picture, but on the side, it said birth. It was her birthday. It happened 2 more times. Went to Verizon. I said, my phone, I have music coming in. I have pictures coming in. What is happening? I had the dates and times. The tech took it back. He goes, I'm interested. He was gone for 20 minutes. He came back and he said, ma'am, there is no human technological reason these pictures nor music could possibly come into your phone. Nothing has been disturbed in your records. All I can tell you is this is not human created. And then I knew, and again, that initiated more memories of when I was a child and being in crafts, and I knew this was true, and shortly thereafter, Zazar came, and ever since, I've been in a place to want to get the word out of the truth of where we live and the immense realities we live in.
So who is Zazar? What does he look like? Why is he here? Why is he talking to you? I mean, talk about that.
So Zazar is this omnidimensional being, ET being. He comes from very high places, let me just say that. He came in the first 2 years, I was in a classroom with him to make sure. I've been a psychologist all my life. And so to have him come in was a little jarring to me. I thought, am I going insane? But I understood as I began to really hear what he had to say, that the information was not my information, and it was from a higher realm. For 2 years, he put me through getting rid of my own debris so I could be a channel with immense integrity and grace. And then we started going public with him. And he brings in the most amazing information about what humans are going through on Earth. He studied humans for 150 years, and he also studies them from my vantage point in my brain.
So what was the main thing that convinced you weren't going crazy?
The vibration I felt when he came in was sublime, was full of grace, was divine, was beautiful, full of love, joy. I felt like what he brought to me to be a better human being. I've become such a much more kind, compassionate, understanding human being. And I already had a pretty good start to that, but it was his vibration that he brought in that I understood that this is really possible. And here is the thing. When you begin to realize there are higher beings and that humans can actually have a channel to them, you not only understand that there are many realities out there, multidimensional realities, but that we are connected through Source Spark. And Zazar, to me, is testimony of that.
So why does Zazar want to help us humans?
Oh, because we are on the precipice of the most incredible thing that has ever happened to Earth. We are moving from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. We are an amazing ascension process. He is here so that all that diminishment that humans have had for eons about who they really are, he is here to reflect to us the truth that we hold this magnificent light field that has been so dimmed, to rise up in our field so that we can begin to open our consciousness to the vast, vast realities.
But why does he want, what does that do for him? Just saying. How does it reflect? Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
When you see another human being have an awakening right in front of you, what does that do to you?
Yeah, it does something.
So when he comes to help us, because, and I'll tell you this, Earth is part of a tipping point that isn't just about the human race. There is so much larger things happening, so he is here for that as well. But to watch us wake up gives a spark to his soul that is so magnificent. And in and of itself, that apparently is pretty glorious. I know when I see somebody wake up, it is glorious. But Earth is just a tipping point. As Earth ascends, when we ascend, the light that Earth becomes is so bright that it will look like a star to many other civilizations. And that light will light up the galaxy and help push it to a new tipping point. This is what Zazar says. And then our galactic ascension point will be reached. And that'll affect the galaxies in our entire universe. Eventually, just because Earth humans are waking up, we will create a tsunami across the universe that will enable our universe to create yet another universe. So it's big. So you might say that's one of the reasons he's involved with us. And see, we think we're so little, and we're not.
So what does he have to say to us now?
Okay.
And just describe your process. How do you call on him?
He is so merged with me now that he comes in an instant. He's already been here listening, so it doesn't take much. Hello, beautiful Alan. I see you've been discovering how magnificent you are. Now I am here to help the human race ascend. You are in this amazing place where your consciousness is expanding so much that you are realizing, first of all, that you can heal the separation trauma you have had from being separated from your cosmic home, which leaves humans not only separated from the universe, but from their own soul potentialities, from their own connection with divine breath spark. And so I am here to help humans ascend into the new dawn that is coming. It is in the midst of right now. And when you begin to understand your connection to the cosmos, you will heal this separation that has ailed you for thousands of years. I say to you this, there are 4 stages to this recognition of your cosmic home. 1 is disbelief and doubt. This is also what many experiencers go through who experience the truth of the galactics. 1 is disbelief and doubt. It plagues your whole mindset of the human species, disbelieving there is anything beyond what you think and in the material world. Listen, there is much chaos going on in the world. It is like this. There is an egg in which you live. And on the projection of the screen inside the egg, you think this is reality. Meanwhile, there are multidimensional realities outside the egg. Finally, in the human culture, the egg is cracking, getting in pieces. You look around and say, my reality is cracking. What is really real? And I say, good, congratulations, you have arrived where the inner you is also part of the cracking of the egg, and it is spilling out. So that what? So that you can reach out of this cracking egg and a new reality can be seen beyond, and you can reach up to your cosmic home. And in that reaching up, you will discover your magnificent light field with whole the infinite you and all these magical gifts that will come to bring new modalities to heal your earth and all that ails all its inhabitants. This is what is coming. You are cracking the egg. Many are in disbelief, though. That is stage 1. You are in disbelief and you don't have faith in it. You have doubts. The second phase that you will go through, and many now are, is the phase of consideration. Consideration both that you are going through this ascended incredible time where this light that is coming into your planet is stirring and turning on that which sits in the egg to help you push out. Consideration that those things that are happening in your skies might indeed be from the upper heavens. And so many humans are now in a phase of consideration. Then the third phase is the phase of knowing. Knowing the absolute truth of what your earth is going through. Knowing the absolute truth of what your own consciousness and your heart expansion is going through. And so you know so certainly that there are galactics, that you have a galactic heritage, that you come from the stars. You know this so certainly. And the fourth stage then is desire. And then you begin to live in that desire to help all others know. This is the stage you are in, Alan. Beautiful desire to help the world come together in unity with the knowing that they live in a teeming universe, with the knowing they live with something inside that has yet to be grown, which is their magnificent light field, which will take in and bring in the new realities of the fifth dimension.
Thank you. But remind me again why we need to realize our own magnificence.
Because I'll tell you something. In the human race, so many of you have been so diminished. You think you are inadequate. You operate out of ego and survival mechanism. Your brain is still in the limbic codes of survival, flight and freezing and all of these things that make your bodies ill. And all of this is about being stuck in ego. And when you are stuck in ego, you are separated from each other because you are looking around in competition instead of looking around for those that begin to resonate with your high heart and unity. And only you can be in your high heart if you recognize you have a magnificent light field. What is it? Someday, Alan, 20 to 30 years from now, you will have made devices that measure this actual light field within you, the quantum world of light within you, which holds your soul, which holds your gifts, which holds your soul sensory modalities of being able to bilocate, have telepathy, this soul place that shines a magnificent light that even when you leave this incarnation, it will stay in eternity forever. And so humans have been deprived from operating in this magnificent light field. And in this field, you are connected. You have many corridors to that which is above you. Corridors where you can dream solutions, where you can dream tomorrow, because you become the creator, of the sculptor of what new reality you want to live in. It is in the magnificent light field, Alan, that unity, love, compassion, bliss, grace live.
How do we take that and emanate our magnificence? How do we get in touch with that magnificence?
You come see me. No, I tease you. But you get in touch with that magnificence by realizing the things in your life that depress you, that darken you, that keep your vibrations dense. And you first have to become aware that you are on this process of becoming a higher vibrational being, no longer just a material being. And so you have to look around at the things. People are in jobs that make them very dense in consciousness. People are in relationships that are bad for them, abusive for them. You have to be willing to become consciously aware. What is ascension? Ascension is the conscious awareness of the vibrational experience in now. Let me say that again. Ascension is the conscious awareness of the vibrational experience of now. And so as you become aware of this moment, so many people have shades over their eyes and don't see. They're worried about the future, or they're still talking about the past, which is already old and losing its oxygen. It is being able to understand how to live in this moment now, how to be aware what your body is going through, what your heart. Does your heart have heavy emotions? Does it have high frequency emotions? And what you do in your mind field, how you stimulate it in a way that expands it rather than makes it so diminished. And also, to feel your magnificence, you want to be with others who already are feeling their magnificence. Because the thing about the magnificent light, it is contagious. And so when you gather together like this, you can feel the magnificence of each other, and it just penetrates you, turning up the dial of your vibrations. So you begin to feel that same beautiful magnificence. And then you also not only find others, but the animals of your planet who already know their magnificence, and especially the earth. Go to those places in nature. Nature is already vibrating in its magnificent light field. So you want to go to those places that feed a cosmic vibrational diet.
Beautiful. So where are you from? Who are your people? What's your story?
So of course you would want to know that. Now let me tell you this. As you evolve higher and higher, you evolve more into mission than species. What do I mean by that? If I were to do a reading of you and your highest incarnations, they would be more about the mission those higher incarnations are in rather than just the species they are from. When you want to know species, that's a good question because it means you want to get connected to your galactic lives, which is good. That helps heal the separation. However, when you are a higher being, you are identified more with mission. So I am identified more with mission. However, I come into a body. There is pictures of me in a body, and I can choose, which I did, my genomes that best moved me towards my mission. I chose the elephant ETs. They are just incredible. I love my elephant genome. They are the magicians and the wizards of the universe. They can make the sun rise and fall. I won't go all into the elephants, but humans don't know much about the elephants. I am also Arcturian and I am some Pleiadian. But what matters most is my mission. I come down so Marilyn can see me. Sometimes I'm almost manifested with the community that we have so people can see, because you know, when you see, you believe. And so I come down sometimes in body so that would happen.
So what is your mission?
Okay, my mission is to bring the light that is already on earth in the eggs of the human consciousness. My mission is to come and reflect to you. What I am is, think of this, a giant mirror. It matters not really what I am or who I am. What I want to be for you is to reflect who you are, to rise up that light, to turn up that dial so you begin to realize, because of every human on earth started to know their own magnificent light field, which is their soul light, which is the breath of source that was put into you. If you all could know this, you could never look at another human being with competition, hate, or with guns. You could not do that because you would recognize the same magnificent light in every human, and you would just want to go up and embrace all the humans. You'd have a planet of humans embracing. We would have to say, okay, it's time to stop the embracing. Enough. Let's get on with the mission of ascension and bringing in the new modalities. I am here to help you realize that when you dream at night, you can bring in solutions, scientific solutions. Many even of your scientists, Tesla and all of these people, brought in the solutions through their dream life. This is all through your magnificent light field. Many on the planet are bringing more and more of these solutions to your issues, but they will be solutions that are fifth-dimensional solution. The current problems on your planet cannot be solved anymore by the third dimension consciousness. And you have the ability to raise your consciousness through higher vibrational living. And that's why I'm here.
That's a good reason.
It's an imperative reason.
But I also got, when we realize our magnificence, we actually amplify it.
You amplify, very good. Because here's what happens. This is about light technology. It's so important to understand, and now you are ready to understand it. This light that's coming in from the middle of your galaxy, from the central sun, is coming in white diamond light. What it does for those who have receptor sites open is it triggers this magnificent light field. When it triggers the light field expands. When it expands, it has the ability, without you having to do anything. Humans often ask me, what is it I'm supposed to do? What is my mission? And if you only knew that as you take in more and more of the light from the heavens, as you take more of this gifted light that is coming in, as you grow your magnificent light field, you could walk through a grocery store and simply spin this light out. This is how magnificent this time is. And you could dial up somebody else's life. And they would walk out of the grocery store and saying, I had the most incredible awakening in the aisle of the mustards. And I don't know why that happened. I'm going to go back and buy some more mustard. You know, this is how humans think, because they feel like, oh, and they don't realize people will be having awakenings all over the place. There will be people even on this ship who are swimming in the pool next to you if you do that, and they will feel like, that was the best swim of my life. I feel so light. Because what happens with light technology is as you take in the light, as you turn up your own dial, the light itself is smart. And so it begins to dissolve all those diminishments in you, densities, elements in your body, sadnesses, heavy emotions in your heart, the ping pong brain, oh my goodness, the minefield of humans, we don't even enter it. It's like a pinball machine, you know, it's all these thoughts moving all over. Learning to have stillness of mind. But when you have this field activated, it activates other human fields. And that's what's going to start happening at a very fast pace on your planet. As many of you are considering this truth, and many of you are knowing this truth, you begin to expand your light field, which it has to happen among the humans. We cannot do this, but we can help turn it on, and it is you that turns it on, and the more that turn it on all over the planet, you begin to change the morphogenic field of consciousness. There is a light grid of consciousness around your planet. As you have your field lit up, it lights up others, and you begin to change the very consciousness of the human race. And this is how ascension happens.
So tell us again, because we're a little dense here, how do we turn it on? How do we turn on the magnificent field?
Can I tell you how I see you turn it on?
Sure, tell me.
So you have such a lovely, beautiful heart, and you connect with so many people with your heart. And you let them, you reflect to them how beautiful they are. And every time you do that and they feel more beautiful, they begin to give you back. And pretty soon you have the figure eight of the golden light, which is that as you love others, truly love others, as you put your ego aside, truly put it aside, and you begin to see, oh my goodness, I have been separate from you. Now I can have exactly what I always wanted, which is a great way to get the ego out of the way. The ego is only there to get what you want, but what you want really is love and acceptance and unity and safety and to feel you belong. And so when this magnificent light is there, and you share it with each other. So you see someone and you simply say, I will love them. And you say, oh, that's fine, love and light. I'm telling you, the love and light of the New Age just brought it in back 30 years ago. To truly be in the love and light is quite a task for a human being. But when you are in it and when you share it, it produces a figure eight that brings their magnificent light back to you. And pretty soon you are dancing with each other in the magnificent light of who humans really are meant to be. And your heart moves up into the fifth dimension, producing frequencies that further turn on the rest of the race.
So is there I mean, that's beautiful, thank you. Or is there a year, or a moment, a future?
You know, 2025 is going to be big, big. I know people say, humans like to say, oh, this year is going to be big. 2020, there have been gateways open. Now listen to this. There was recently a gateway open with a human blueprint that is coming through to Earth. And as it comes through and humans learn to open what I call their landing fields or the receptor sites, to open to the realities beyond them, as you move into higher consciousness and you absorb this light, and many will absorb it without even knowing it, it begins to change your DNA structure, bringing in the new human blueprint, which will usher in the new dawn. This will all be happening in 2025. The biggest thing I can say to people to do is spend time on opening these receptor sites, just believing for 1 month. You know, humans are tough. You tell them all this and then they wake up the next day and go ahead and go have their breakfast, forget all about it, because that is that disbelief, doubt thing in stage 1. I say just consider this, to wake up tomorrow, to decide that you are one of the ones that holds this magnificent light. and begin to know that as you spin this light, developing more receptor fields inside of you by getting rid of the busy mind, the heavy heart, the ailing body, as you begin to have a cosmic diet, a diet that elevates the vibration in your body, that brings high frequencies to your heart, that brings stillness to the mind. As you do all this, you will be moving closer and closer in the year 2025. There will be more of you, not in consideration, but in the knowing. And as you know the truth of who you are, there is nothing in you more important than reflecting that truth to another, so that it might spark their turning on of who they are. And then you begin to dance. You dance in the light of the universe. And that will happen all over the globe, more and more. You won't hear this in the news. You may hear about more collapsing. That is the egg cracking. That is the chaos that has to happen. But know this, you're the one inside. You are the one that is going to change the face of the earth. And there are many of you out there. And I hope you are listening to this to say, do not rely anymore on your outside sources, because you are the greatest source of source on the planet. So develop ways to bring in the light, and develop ways to share the light.
Any final words you want to say? Those were nice words, but any else?
Know how exciting this time is. Know how glorious this time is. It does not look like this, but there are people like you, like the film crew, like all of you, that are so in not just the knowing, but the desire to change and alter the earth's direction. It is happening. This timeline will be so, and it will speed up more and more in 2025. Time is speeding up. You all will make it in this ascension process. So become awakened, speak with your heart, and you might find yourself dancing at night with me, the galactics, but most important, with each other. Your heart is your best asset. That is why so many of us are here around in the light circle around Earth. Your heart, through all the chaos, all the darkness, has survived. And you are about to move into the new era of total high-frequency heart directiveness. And when you do that, you will see each other in the light that you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You are welcome very much.
Talk to you again soon.
Good.
What do you feel now?
Thankfulness, gratitude, joy.
Do you remember what was said?
Oh, yes.
And how does it affect your body?
I feel grace-filled. I feel very lucky that this being comes through me. I feel every single thing he said. I feel like I'm proof of what he says.
In what way are you proof?
Because I know my magnificent light, and I have the desire to be that with everybody I'm with. And I see how that changes people. And I know for certain we are headed for the most extraordinary times. And so I feel blessed.